This is to go over a very important function within our system, which is to handle communications. What we want to do is handle those all within one Gmail account, if at all possible. So there's a central location where multiple people can see what's going on, multiple people can respond, so that it doesn't all come down on me. In fact, I want to be the secondary. I really prefer others handle it. The way we handle it is through an account called DixiePropertyTask at gmail.com. You can just simply sign into it and use the password that's given in the policies and procedures. You can go to that account simply by signing in and associating it with your account. We can also delegate the account, which allows people to respond but doesn't give them administrative powers. Here, when I click on my existing Gmail account, you can see I've done both. I can go straight into the Dixie Property Task account with full administrative privileges, or here's where it's been delegated. We can set that up either way. For a VA, we would probably just delegate it. You know, if they were just going to do emails, they weren't going to respond to any phone calls or anything. And then click it, it opens a new window, go straight to it. The problem is that if you need to leave a note about returning a voicemail, Gmail doesn't let us leave notes yet. So the solution to that is to open the account in a separate browser. You can do that by opening an incognito window in Chrome, or if you're in Chrome, opening a Firefox window, vice versa. You know, a different brand of browser will get you there. You just type Gmail and it'll let you go straight to it. And now we're into it. If this is the same as you would see otherwise, the difference is when we need to go into the voice account itself. For most things, we can respond to it directly from the Gmail account, and you don't necessarily need to do this. But whichever way is most comfortable for you, or what's required if you need to go into the Google Voice account. We get emails, we get texts. Here's anytime you see SMS, that's a text. You can respond to the text from here. You can see here's a conversation where it's gone back and forth. And you see it looks like that's a conclusion to the conversation. So if you were checking the account, you would see I don't need to do anything with this. Then when you type a response, Gmail will convert it back to text through voice and send it back to the phone of the sender. That will work as long as you're in the Dixie Property Task at gmail.com account. It will not work if it's being forwarded to your Gmail. You'll see it and it looks the same when you receive it, but you cannot respond to it from a second account. It must be responded to from this account. You must check into this account. Adding this account on smartphones and tablets is easy. You simply add account and use the Dixie Property Task at gmail.com and the password, and it will add a second account. And then in Gmail on your phone, you can flip back and forth between the two boxes with just a touch. And so it's really easy. You see it come in, you touch over to the Dixie Property Task at gmail.com account and respond to the text from there. All's good. They'll get a text back. Of course, emails are just normal. You can respond to them. If we get a Google Voice, you can see it'll say new voicemail from, and that there's one. Here's one here where there was a voicemail that came in. We try to discourage people from calling in. It's just not worth it having someone answer a phone with modern technology. When you open it up, you can see from within Gmail, you can play the message. Very often the transcription's hard to understand. Even when it's forwarded to your account, you can play the message from there. The thing you cannot do is if you need to leave a note say you attempted to respond and you weren't able to get through, couldn't leave a message, so you need to leave a note to that effect. It cannot be done inside of Gmail yet. You're going to have to open up Voice in order to leave a note for the next person who looks at it, or to remind yourself about what's been done. One thing we can do though is that we can add labels, and so if you responded to this and you took care of whatever their question was, we have labels, and you can see this label, call has been responded to, has been checked for this. So that's what you would do to keep anyone from having to check in Voice to see, do I need to return this call, do I need to return this call. So to go on down, here's one. This is what it would look like. You click there. You can open up that message, and you can see we've emailed back and forth about it, but somebody did not yet mark this. So we'll go to the labels. The call's been responded to. There it is. And now with a quick glance into the inbox, you can tell these calls are done. Nobody has to do anything. If you need to leave a note, you've tried to call back, or you called back and couldn't answer the question, there's going to need to be more follow-up, then you'll need to actually go into Voice, and this is where being in a separate browser window helps. Since you already have it opened as Dixie Property Task, it opens up the Voice account for Dixie Property Task. And you can see these are texts. These are where the texts are coming through because of the envelopes. When you see the little cassette recorder, that's a voicemail, and you can also tell because it's got where you can play the message. So say we needed to leave a note about this call here. We click More and Add Note. I sure wish they would have this on Gmail, but they don't yet. Alright, here's where maybe they ask a question, and we had a 2-bedroom available at the moment, and whoever returned the call wasn't sure if we have anything coming up soon with 3 bedrooms. This is a way to leave a note for everyone else to see, and there's the note right there. You have to go into Voice to see the note, but if you click back over here, you would not say call has been responded to, and that lets us know that it's not been taken care of. When we say responded, we mean completely, that the question's answered. And so you put this little label on it only when that's a way of telling everybody no need to pursue this any further. So if we saw that this label wasn't here, we would check it, we would see the note, and find the answer and get back to somebody. The other thing that's really, really cool about what we can do in Gmail is we've got canned answers, preset answers for a lot of things. And so say we were going to reply here. If you go to canned responses, you've got all kinds of options here. You can see some of these are questions that prospects will ask, some of them are questions that tenants will ask, and these already have the preset answers in them. This was one having to do with a late payment. So say she was asking if she could pay late. Well, we have a standard answer for that. Is it okay if I pay late? So you click that, it inserts it. Now you can personalize it a little bit. And if you need to add anything else to it, that's fine. But these are standard answers that come in very handy. So when you see the emails, so many of these are going to be something that's already covered. They're asking about pets. They're asking about the application fee. We get a notice that the tenant's going to leave. The tenant asks if they can paint. Tenant has a disagreement with their statement. Their heat isn't working. All of these things are already in here. So a person who isn't familiar with how this will be done at all, you don't need to be. You just click on this. Glance over to make sure that it really does answer the question that the person is asking. Tenants have lots of different ways of saying, can I get out of a lease early? They tend to flower it up and try to disguise it, but that's what the question is. Or is it okay if I pay late? We get so many variations on that one. Well, I'll have some money for you next week. Is that okay? I'm having a rough time. Can you work with me? Those kinds of things. Well, they all are answered the same, and this is the answer. You can click and you can send it to them, and you will have what you need. That's so you got everything in here, from being able to respond to text. You can respond to the emails with preset answers. You can check the voicemails, and everyone can see this and see if anyone else is taking care of it. So it's a pretty good system.